Hello everyone, welcome, my name is Phoenix and this is the Consumer's Guide to Filmmaking. Project Hail Mary, 2026, Phil Lord and Chris Miller. This film follows a man named Dr. Ryland Grace. Waking up on a space station with no knowledge of who he is, Dr. Grace slowly comes to learn he was placed on this space station for one purpose: save our dying sun. Approaching a star that is not affected by what is killing ours, Dr. Grace soon discovers that we are not alone in the universe, as he befriends a small alien whom he dubs Rocky. Both of them sharing the same mission, Grace and Rocky must work together in order to find out why their suns are dying and save their people from extinction. So this film seemed to be getting like a ton of hype, and while this film is a crowd pleaser, I just wasn't one of the people in the crowd that was giddy about this movie. There's actually a fair bit to break down here, so let's get into this one. Now, the thing I am impressed with when it comes to this film is Phil Lord and Chris Miller's direction. Starting with this visually striking close-shot sequence of Dr. Grace being unzipped from his coma bag, full of vibrant colors and disorienting editing, the cinematography by D.P. Grieg Fraser captures the confined, zero-gravity environment really well. I loved every transition where the camera goes like 90 degrees down and then rotates back up to a straight-ahead frame. The awkward angles really envelop you in the feeling like you are floating from all directions in this space station. The beautiful color palette of this film is also something to be admired. As I alluded to when I talked about, that opening sequence, this film is fond of dousing the screen in vibrant colors like reds and greens. In particular, the gases and light waves of space when they experience the Petrovia line was like really, really cool. Some of the ending shots with this haze put over it was a very surreally edited sequence that captured the emotions of that particular moment quite nicely. The production design was also something that really impressed me. 200 milli well spent in my eyes, as this film's special effects and surprisingly very sparingly used computer animation never ripped me out of the film. The space station that Grace lived in was incredibly constructed. The spaceship that Rocky inhabited was beautifully designed, full of angular shapes and this silver, brown, and gold color palette like the ship is built from raw minerals. The inside of this ship, this almost non-Euclidean, brightly lit haven, was quite a sight. Musically, the score was probably tied with the cinematography as my favorite aspect of the film. While it might have been a bit corny in the context of the film at times, Daniel Pemberton's score on a compositional level was honestly pretty striking. This ethereal, atmospheric affair, the synths and vocals throughout the film are quite subdued, but every piece felt like it had its own identity. In combination with the sound design of the film, in particular the sound mix knowing when to cut noise and turn volumes down when needed, it created a wonderful atmosphere. The film also boasts a fair amount of licensed music as well. All sorts of bangers are used in this film. Artists like Chris Christopherson, Neil Diamond, the Beatles, the Scorpions, and most notably, Harry Styles. The Harry Styles song Sign of the Times is sung by cast member Sandra Hewler, and while I will get into the writing in a hot minute, that particular scene was honestly well presented. The other songs that were used I thought were quite fitting, as a song like Neil Diamond's Stargazer is quite apt for a film about, a guy in space. But when we finally look at the writing in this film, Project Hail Mary doesn't quite pull itself together all that well. Mechanically, it gets to where it needs to go, even though it takes maybe a little too long at the end to get there, and the script is carried there by two fantastic performances by Ryan Gosling and James Ortiz. These two really worked well together, and their friendship was genuinely cute. But the script really was a tale of two movies, and the tone of this film was just kind of all over the place as a result. In one movie, we have this introspective human drama about a man discovering what it means to have courage and believe in something bigger than yourself. In the other, it's this beautiful buddy comedy drama about two friends showing each other the value of life. Now, I know you might think the former is what interested me more, but no, it was the latter. That stuff was genuinely beautiful and interesting. The dour opening with the crew dying and all the overly long flashbacks that imparted this really needless sense of stakes just didn't work for me. Either cut all that stuff out or relegate it to brief, maybe silent flashbacks, which in turn would lean the script out and cut down the monolithic 2.5 hour runtime. Like, we might be onto something here if that gets done. Like, even with its uneven script, like, I gotta respect what Phil Lord and Chris Miller did with this film. In terms of pure direction, this film boasts really cool ideas and a really well executed visual style. I also gotta shout out, a banging score and soundtrack when I hear it. Sure, the story isn't quite as lean or as focused tonally as it could be, but I had my fun with this film, and if you're into, space stuff, I would say keep this on your radar. And I am feeling... Okay, so when I initially recorded this review, I gave it a 6, but when I discussed this film on my podcast Talking into Dimensions, I feel the score I gave there is a more accurate representation of what I feel about this film, especially after having discussed it with my co-host Kara. So, as a result, I am feeling a 6 to a 6.5 out of 10 on this one. It's probably closer to a 6 than a 6.5. Continue. Catch you later, guys.